Shannon, are you buying this from Butler?
I do, and they shouldn't care if someone picks them. Skip, when you play the game, you don't care. I've gone into a game, the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl that we won. We're 11-point underdogs. The AFC hadn't won a Super Bowl in over a decade, and Green Bay had the reigning MVP. They were the reigning champs. They were trying to go back to back, and I think we were 11-point underdogs. It never.
I don't remember you being that big an underdog.
Yeah, we were a big underdog.
I was there. I don't remember it. I thought you had a real shot.
We thought we had a real shot too. But because the AFC hadn't won in such a long time, and because the NFC had dominated, Skip, the games were not even close. I mean, think about what Dallas were doing to Buffalo and what the Giants were doing and what the 49ers were doing. So the games weren't even close. And so it didn't even dawn on us that we weren't supposed to win that game, or because we were decided underdogs, we had no chance of winning the ball game. Skip, it's not a fluke that the Heat are here. They beat the team with the best record, that had the MVP, that had the Defensive Player of the Year. And Skip, sometimes you get situations in a sports where it's one. You know, we see in tennis, we see underdogs come up and beat a Fed or beat a Nadal. But you're not going to get that in a series. You're not going to get lucky 4 times. AD couldn't have hit 4 shots, or they couldn't get free throws at the end of the game to win it. They were the better team, just like the Nuggets. Oh, the Clippers choked too. And just like the Nuggets were the better team. Skip, they beat Milwaukee, and then they beat a young, very talented Boston team 4 times. That's not an accident. They belong here. They believe they belong here, and they will play an outstanding series. Would I be shocked if they beat the Lakers? Yes, because the Lakers have 2 superstars and some good role players. I believe they have a star in Butler and some rising guys. Bam is on his way. Tyler Hero looks like he has the makings to be something special. But they shouldn't feel like underdogs, and people have counting them out every step along the way. Nobody thought they were going to get past the Bucks. I didn't. I mean, I picked the Bucks in 5. And lo and behold, they beat the Bucks in 5. And I thought the Celtics were going to win. And they did a number on the Celtics. Now, I did pick them to beat Indiana, but Skip, they belong here. They believe they belong here. They will play. And because you don't have home court, that's been removed. This is a different element. And we've seen players come out of nowhere and do things that we've never seen some of the other all-time greats do in playoff series. So they should not feel like an underdog. They should feel very confident in their ability, although I would be surprised, shocked, actually, if they were to win this series.
So, are you predicting a Lakers sweep?
No, I'm not.
No?
No, I'm not.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
You're going to give the Heat a game?
I might give them 2.
Well, go ahead.
No, they give them
Be
2.
my guest.
No, we got plenty of time. We're going to talk about this a little later.
We are?
Yeah.
I thought we were doing it now, actually.
Oh, we supposed to pick the game?
Why not?
We supposed to pick the series?
Yeah, why not? It's time. It's tonight. I think it's tonight. Jenny said it's tonight.
Today.
Did they change it?
I want, as much as I want to say 5, I got too much respect for Spoelstra. I think they're going to play extremely hard. I'm gonna say Lakers in 6.
In 6 games.
In 6
So
games.
twice you believe this Miami Heat team will vanquish your Lakers, starring the King and Anthony Davis. Whew. That's a gutsy, bold prediction. That's all the way to the edge of the limb.
They ain't no edge. No.
All right, my turn, and I will get to my prediction in just a moment. This quote, "We are not an underdog," is why I love Jimmy Butler. In fact, this quote is why I have become a Miami Heat fan, because I believe that he believes, and in turn they believe with all their heart and all their considerable soul, that they are better than the Los Angeles Lakers. This is why I always say about Jimmy Butler, he does not have superstar talent, but he definitely has superstar intangibles, which is why I always say I would want him on my team in my foxhole before a big playoff game in, let's say, the NBA Finals.
Right.
I want Jimmy on my side because I like what he's made of. Again, he's not the greatest player you've ever seen because he's not a great shooter. He just makes plays.
Right.
He just makes free throws when he needs to. Not all the time, but when he needs to, he gets to the line and he makes those free throws. So I love the attitude. I just don't love the matchup. And I'm going to remind everybody, the Miami Heat, before the season started, were 75-1 to win the NBA championship.
Right.
Those are the longest preseason odds of any NBA finalist in the last 30 years. And it would go back further, but they didn't keep the numbers. So just think about this.
Right.
The closest to this was the Jason Kidd Nets of 2002 that got to the finals and got swept by Shaq and Kobe. Okay, so think about it. They were 75-1, and they're here.
Yep.
And you're saying they're legit.
Skip, I'm not so sure they would have been there had it not been for the bubble scenario. The bubble took a lot of situations,
right,
and it made it easy because there was no crowd, and it minimized the expectations of your role players, because that's what we've seen. We've seen guys step up and do things we don't normally see role players do.
Okay, so my heart is with the Heat. I have known Pat Riley since the early 80s when he first became the Laker coach, and I like the man, and I believe in the man. He's an icon to me.
He is.
An NBA icon. He's crossed 6 decades, I should say, of finals.
Played with the Lakers.
He played with the Lakers. He was once drafted by my Dallas Cowboys out of the University of Kentucky. He played in a national finals for the Kentucky Wildcats. In fact, it was against UTEP, the Miners, Texas El Paso, the first all 5.
It was Western, right? Well, that's what they became. They became
They became UTEP,
Texas,
right. But they were the first team to get to the finals, all black.
Yep.
It was historic, and Pat Riley actually played in that game.
He did.
That's how legendary his career span is. So I will root for him. My heart says Heat. My head is screaming at me to the point I have a headache. Lakers, Lakers, Lakers. I am close to picking this a sweep, but I will give the Heat one game just because, to your point, they play so hard, they play so smart, they play so fearlessly, and they play so together. As Jimmy Butler says, we're not about stats, we're not about fame. We just try to make winning plays to win basketball games. And they do that about as well. They maximize what talent they do have to the utmost of their abilities, and they are extremely well coached and well prepared by Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. Now, why is it going to be Lakers in 5? Because on paper, this is a mismatch. On paper, I'm looking at your man and Anthony Davis. They are by far the 2 best players on the floor. You know, and I know, the NBA, basketball in general, you can only play 5 at a time. If you have the 2 best, you have a
decided advantage.
It's like a prohibitive advantage because they're just too good. And furthermore, they're just too big and tall. Think about this. Bam. He's rising into a terrific all-around player who can do a lot of different things. He led them against Boston in points, rebounds, assists, not assists, but across the board, a lot of categories. Blocks, steals. Okay, he's 6'9". He's playing center as a power forward. He's the tallest player they start. They have Olynyk coming off the bench, but he's playing fewer and fewer minutes because Bam has become a star. Not a superstar, but a star. Okay, what do the Lakers do best? They're huge. LeBron is as big as Bam. And he's stronger and stouter than Bam is, to me. And you have JaVale and Dwight. They're legit 5s. They're legit centers, and the Heat don't play with the legit center. So the Lakers.
You left off AD.
Okay. Well, I consider him a power forward, but he can definitely play the 5 better than Bam can play the 5. I agree.
But like you said, they got 4. The Lakers have 4 guys that's the equivalent height of Bam.
Okay.
LeBron, AD, JaVale, and Dwight.
So what quietly did your team, or has it done the best through the playoffs? It has scored off offensive rebounds. It's the 2nd best offensive rebounding team, but it cashed better than anybody by far in the playoffs. So if they make this a volleyball contest inside because Bam's doing this and this, because he's got 2 towers beside him, what do you think's going to happen?
Well, because it's so hard to rebound in a zone, Skip. Because it's hard to put a body on a body because you're playing an area, and so you just automatically just turn to that area. So the Lakers have a decided advantage, and the question is, can they make the Lakers go small? Can they get Dwight out of the game? Because I believe they're going to match up Dwight on Bam, and then that means, so does Jay Crowder play Dwight, or does he play AD? And they put Bam on AD, and then Jay Crowder on Dwight Howard. Well, Dwight Howard got to get to the front of the rim. They throw him the ball, and he just got to turn around and put it in.
Okay. Bam's going to have to do it all. He's going to have to be Atlas holding up the Miami Heat's world, right?
Bam is going to have to be Bam in Game 6 for basically the entirety of the playoffs.
The entire, yes, or you got no shot.
Right.
So, as you point out, they found a zone that they fell back into, and they like it because they play it the best you can play it. Listen, Boston was starting to shred that zone. They had to outscore Boston. They needed Tyler Hero to be my hero.
Right.
Or they were going to lose this series.
Duncan Robinson in the last game.
Correct. Okay, so what does LeBron do greatest? He's still the greatest passer. It's not even close. So at 6'9", 250, can he get inside on this zone? Oh, yeah. Can he? Yeah. Just watch him just power through the cracks in this zone.
Right.
And once he gets in the lane, bad stuff's going to happen to the Heat because you do have plenty of spot-up shooters who have been very good. You have a third star named Playoff Rondo, who's always been really good in the playoffs. And by the way, he's played 115 playoff games, so he's got deep experience, 2 finals, obviously 1 ring. But what is going on with Playoff Rondo right now? He's making threes at a crazy rate.
He is.
He's a 32% career three-point shooter in the regular season and in the playoffs, 32%. In the playoffs so far, in the bubble, to your point, he's 45%. He's knocking him down like a maniac.
Right.
Well, when that's happening,
well, it's going to be hard to beat him.
Okay, LeBron, AD, and Rondo doing that? Well, it's just too good. And Danny Green, trust me, he's played a lot of big games. This will be his 4th finals, obviously, with my Spurs. Well, in Toronto. He can really shoot it.
Yes.
When he gets going, does he still have that record? I think he does. He has the finals record for most made threes in the 2013 finals. Okay, is he capable? He'll go cold occasionally, but he's more likely to go hot in these big games.
Right.
So can he spot up and shoot it? You better believe it. Do I expect Kyle Kuzma to have a couple of torrid stretches? You better believe he will. So if LeBron is just creasing that zone and all of a sudden he's getting in and getting Bam in foul trouble, Bam's going to get attacked from all sides.
Right.
Because he's only...
Well, Bam can't get in foul trouble. If Bam's in foul trouble, they have no chance because they don't have enough size.
Okay. And if the Lakers start raining three-point shots because LeBron is getting them wide open looks, this isn't going to last very long.
Right.
And then finally, I get to motivation. I know LeBron tried to downplay it yesterday, but trust me on this. He would like to get even. Pat Riley has been hard on him in public. There's the quote about smiling faces with hidden agendas.
Right.
He has made it very clear to Brian Windhorst at ESPN and others that he believed LeBron went traitor on him in 2014 and sold him out and left him high and dry with only Wade, who was about done at that point, and Chris Bosh.
Right.
And
Bosh,
he went home.
And Bosh, they didn't know Bosh ended up having those blood clots, and his career was over. There you go.
And so that was the end of that dynasty as we knew it.
The problem that I have, Skip, is that Pat Riley did the exact same to the Knicks, and nobody says anything about
that's
it.
That's fine. But right here, right now, he has made it clear, and message has been sent to LeBron, I blame you for what happened to us. So, do you like LeBron with a little chip on his shoulder?
I love LeBron with a chip on his shoulder, but I think the thing is, Skip, is that Pat wanted to do things his way, and rightfully so. He's the general manager. He's responsible for it. But there are situations that LeBron asked for certain players, and Pat Riley's like, I'm going to do it my way. So LeBron says, let me go somewhere where I will have more influence in the organization, and if I need certain things, they will try at least to accommodate me and not blow me off. Well, his people have access. Rich Paul, Mav Carter, and Randy. Pat Riley wanted to run this thing. Hey.
Okay, I do not disagree with one word you're saying. I'm actually saying you're right.
Yeah.
LeBron believes you're dead right. And LeBron is saying, he said that about me?
Right.
Okay, well, watch this.
It was never enough. I mean, you go to 4 straight. LeBron took a pay cut. And Skip, you remember, LeBron says, I tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm never playing for a pay cut again.
He did?
He said, I'm never playing for a pay. He took less money to go there to help put this thing together. And granted, some people say it was a failure because they didn't go 4 for 4. They went 2 and 2. I think he fulfilled, Skip. Look, you know what? LeBron James has never asked for a trade. He's never opted out early. He's always fulfilled his obligation. Pat, you got 2 titles more than you would have had.
Okay. I got you.
You were the toast.
I'm with you.
For 4 years, you were the toast of the NBA.
Okay, I agree. Motivational advantage, LeBron James. And then further, lest we forget, the late, great Kobe Bryant. This Laker team obviously feels
it's
destined and driven and feels like it's responsibility to win this for Kobe Bryant, right?
Right.
That's powerful, man. And I do not discount it 1 ounce.
No.
This is happening right before your very eyes, which is why I will not be surprised if this is a sweep. They might just come out and say, watch this. This is for Kobe Bryant. It's hard to overcome that when you were 75-1 before the season started, right?
Right.
Okay, so look, if it were 1 game for all the marbles, would I give the Heat a shot at 1 game? Yeah. If the Heat can get it to what's called clutch time, last 5 minutes, game within 5, they've been extraordinary. They've been the best team in the bubble.
That's why they won ball games, and that's where you win or lose ball games, Skip. If you can get the game close, get a team to deep water. That's what the Nuggets did so well. They get you late in the ball game, the last 5 minutes, as you mentioned. They start raining threes, and threes are more demoralizing than dunks.
Totally agree. They have become. They didn't used to be, but that's the new way this game is played. Okay, what is the final X factor? What is the longest shot that I would give the Miami Heat to win a 7-game series with the Lakers? It's a 36-year-old who's actually about 1 year older than LeBron James, and his name is Andre Iguodala. He has guarded LeBron a lot in the playoffs, and I got to tell you, you can poo-poo or laugh at or scoff at this, but he's guarded him very well. He's probably guarded him the best anybody's ever guarded him, which isn't great. But he has made LeBron's percentage drop from 50.4% in playoff games down to about 44%, which is a pretty significant 6 percentage point drop when he guards him. He's sly, he's shrewd, he's long, he's fairly quick, but he's 36 now. He hasn't played high minutes for this team until the Game 7 against Boston, when he actually played 30 minutes. And he had a big game, and he went 4 for 4 from 3, and he'll guard Jason Tatum and do a good job on him. And he's caused LeBron some trouble. I just don't know if he can cause him any trouble at age 36. He needs to be playing 35 minutes in these games.
Skip, if people say Andre Iguodala has done a great job, let me tell you the job that Andre Iguodala has done on LeBron James. In 2015, he guarded LeBron James. LeBron James averaged 36, 13, and 9. He guarded, and the year that LeBron then won, LeBron was 27, 11, and 9. And then he guarded once KD got there, he was 33, 12, and 10. And then the following year, he was 32, 10, and 9.
Okay.
So in other words, LeBron James went from all galaxy to just like a super duper star. That's what Andre Iguodala's done.
Okay, what happened the first time he ever guarded him in a big playoff game? What happened? It was Game 4 in the King's house in 2015. Remember this? And the King is up 2-1, and all of a sudden Steve Kerr says, I'm going to start Iggy, and I'm going to put him on Bron. And what happened?
LeBron didn't play well that game.
7 of 22. What was he? 1 of 4 from 3, but 5 of 10 from the
think about it. He was 7 of 22, and that was the one game. And LeBron still averaged 36, 13, and 9.
Okay, but they lost games 4, 5, and 6. Who was the MVP of that series?
Iggy.
Unbelievably, it was Iggy.
It could have easily been Steph Curry, because Steph Curry averaged like 26 points a game. Skip.
And then the only other point I will make to you is, do you remember what happened in 2017, the turning point? Game 3 in the King's house. This is the first year Kevin Durant had joined forces, right? And it goes down to 12 seconds left, and LeBron has got a 3 to tie. And they inbound from the corner, if we could quickly see what happened. And Iggy sort of did what I would call a Pat Bev, or maybe Pat Bev did an Iggy, and you see what happened. LeBron went up to shoot it from the corner, and Iggy got it on the way up clean, knocked it back off LeBron, who then caught it, and he caught it out of bounds. Okay, here it is in the corner, and he got it on the way up. It's just sly. It's just shrewd operator. It's just knowing LeBron well enough, I'll get him on the way up. It's what he can do that nobody else can do, but I'm not making a case. I'm just saying that's the X factor. If he could guard LeBron and keep him to a low roar for 7 games, okay, maybe they would have a shot.
Well, I sure hope he guard LeBron like he did in that game, because LeBron was 42, 12, and 9.
Okay.
So if he can just hold LeBron down to that number right there, I really appreciate it. He could do just that.
Who won?
What, Kevin Durant was out of this world.
Oh.
Hold on. Does Miami got a Kevin Durant? Do they got a Steph Curry?
No.
Okay.
No.
Exactly.
Pat Riley may be dreaming right now of a Kevin Durant, but he doesn't have one.
And as great as Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero can shoot, they cannot shoot Klay Thompson.
There are nights I think Tyler Hero's thinking about it, but I doubt it. So, bottom line, I'm going Lakers in 5, but I will not be surprised if it's 4.
And before, and you made one point, your beginning point said you becoming a Heat fan. Mm-hmm. You're becoming a Heat fan because of GOAT James is on the other side. And you want them to deny. Because you know, Skip Bayless, at the end of the day, when we take head count, a man with 30, 40,000 points, a man with 10,000 assists, 10,000 rebounds, with 5, 6, 7 titles, and another MVP, you don't want that, Skip. We're going to take a head count in 3 years. We're going to take another roll call. GOATs. LeBron James going to hold that paw up here.
All I know is this has been LeBron's easiest path to a ring.
Skip, I gonna let you
and
do it.
this will be LeBron's easiest finals ever. By far the easiest.
We're in the bubble. We're in the bubble.
I hate to burst your bubble, but
We're in the bubble.
It's about to burst for the Heat.
I just don't think it's that easy. It is different, but the bubble has had plenty of challenges. Okay, so Shannon in 6, Skip in 5. I'm going sweet because why not? It's LeBron James.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.